Hello everybody, this is John D here, and welcome to another audio commentary of Godzilla and His Amazing Friends. This is episode 4 of the series, and much like the previous episodes, I will be providing you with some facts and trivia about the episode, as well as bring up several things that might have been missed in the episode by people. And so let's get started. Something else I should probably bring up while I'm doing this audio commentary is that I should probably give a thanks out to one user who no longer is on YouTube anymore after he closed his account. That user's name is Zigradude. He used to be a friend of ours on Skype, but has since disappeared, and I have had no way of being able to contact him even on Facebook. So unfortunately, I would have liked to have him join me for this audio commentary, but I digress. I couldn't get a hold of him, and Zigradude, if you're still watching this and you still know who we are, I just want to say this episode's for you, buddy, and thanks for the help. So let's get started. Now, according to the scene you're watching right now, in comparison to Zigradude's original plot for this episode, this is actually changed on my part, because originally the original opening was to have another stray Gauss to be attacked by the monster of this episode, which you will soon see, and pulled underground. The reason why I changed this into something involving Godzilla and Anguirus was, one, to further develop Anguirus and Godzilla's friendship, as well as the fact that the opening just seemed too similar to what I used for episode 3's opening. So I didn't really want to do that, because it'd just be somewhat of a bad case of deja vu. So, sorry Zigradude, but it's sort of a change I had to implement here. This opening, however, is indeed akin to the original story that I received, with Rodan being attacked by the now revealed Antlar, who is from Ultraman episode 7, I want to say? Yeah, 7. But yeah, so the original story also had Godzilla and Anguirus attacking Antlar upon fighting Rodan, but another change I wanted to include with the opening, as you saw, was that Godzilla was asleep and still had some slight feelings of angst towards Anguirus and Rodan, because they made him go do something that he shouldn't have in the previous episode. So Anguirus is sort of on his own here in battling Antlar. And something else I should probably bring up by the time Godzilla awakens too was that originally, before I bring that up, is one of the more trickier scenes that you've probably already seen a few times already is Antlar's magnetic ray. Now in the series, Ultra series, Antlar's ray is like, it's not really definitive. It's more like just a wavy, rainbowy form, which is sort of a problem because with Photoshop, you don't really have rainbow as a template for colors. So you have to pretty much use your best guess here. And with Antlar, that's the case here. Now, something I should bring up here, since a few people did not get this correctly at first, is when Anguirus walks away back there, he's not actually retreating. He is going to get help because he knows Godzilla has just arrived to fight Antlar. So, yeah, for the people who got a little mixed up here, Anguirus was still helping. He would not retreat like that because Godzilla is his friend. So yeah, I just wanted to clarify that right there. Something else I should bring up here while this scene is playing right here is I didn't really use Godzilla's atomic ray that often. Like, these are the only 2 times which I used it in this episode, unfortunately. And the reason why is because Antlar's hide in his appearance is a lot more thick, and Godzilla's ray wouldn't have that much of an effect, except for, like, striking Antlar's mouth, which coincidentally is the source of how he controls energy attacks with his magnetic rays. So, unfortunately, I couldn't fully use Godzilla's rays, per se, for the episode. Now back to what I was saying earlier before I brought up Antlar's Ray is that in the original story, Godzilla and Anguirus were to battle Antlar, but Antlar would take full advantage of his electromagnetic ray to defeat both Godzilla and Anguirus. Then he would have proceeded to drag Rodan underground to finish him off, but would get into a brief scuffle with Telesdon, which I will get back onto later in this audio commentary because he plays somewhat of a role here. But basically, Antlar and Telesdon would have gotten into a fight, with Antlar winning, and Antlar proceeding to try and beat Rodan, or kill him, which would ultimately bring in another monster coming up. But first, this scene right here with Antlar and Godzilla. Right now, Antlar is trying to break Godzilla's neck. I tried to make a neck snapping sound by slowing down me chewing on some Pringles as a Foley sound, and that's what that scene was supposed to show here. As well as this scene with Anguirus helping Godzilla back up, he was explaining to him that he got Gomora's help to help him earlier when he retreated. So that was to reconfirm that Anguirus was getting help, not retreating. Now back on to what I was saying with the original story here. Just as Antlar was about to defeat Rodan, Gomora was to appear underground and fight off Antlar as well, which would also bring Godzilla and Anguirus to join them underground, where they would all just quadruple team Antlar, ultimately killing him. And while the idea sounds interesting, because it certainly sounds like the idea from Zone Fighter, the Zandola episode, unfortunately, at the time when I was making this episode, I'm not very savvy with Photoshop, and I still need to learn a bit of things too. But the thought of an underground battle just seemed a little too complex for me to perform at the time. So, again, I'm sorry, Secret Dude, that I had to change this, but at the time I just wasn't really able to make this change. So, again, I'm sorry, buddy. That scene right here, that last one you just saw, Rodan just grabbed onto his pincers and, well, pulled him forward into Gomora's oscillatory array. One thing I did keep, however, was that because of Antlar's, again, very sturdy armor, because I couldn't really use Godzilla's ray on him, I decided to do the next best thing to kind of kill him off, and that was to tear off his pincers. So, I did keep that in the original story here, since that was the only closest way I could actually beat off Antlar. No sexual jokes, please. But, anyway, now getting on to Telesdon, because this episode's coming to a close. The opening with Telesdon popping out of the ground, which unfortunately is not the episode I have on me right now at this moment, that was to pay tribute to the fact that at the time of the story contest that originated this episode, was that Telesdon and Neronga were tied with stories by submissions. So I wanted to again give that away to say, hey guys, thanks for participating. So yeah, I just wanted to bring that up. And with that all being said, this is the end of episode 4. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you next month for episode 5. See ya.